I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand you over to our first speaker of the night, and that's David Shepherd. David Shepherd is somebody that I came across over 15 years ago, and the one thing David's taught me is how to use my mindset to aim big. He's actually helped me to aim bigger and think bigger, and it's actually had a massive impact on my success in my life, because some of the bigger things I'm doing at the moment, I wouldn't be doing them if it wasn't because of him. So can we have a big Yacht London round of applause for David Shepherd?
Good evening, everybody. Said good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Now, firstly, one thing I'd like to do is I want us all to give a massive round of applause and congratulations for Neelam in making this thing happen for us all this evening. So let's give it a hand. And also, you probably noticed there are a few cameras around the place. We are actually going out live on my Facebook wall at the moment. I do a Facebook Live every Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, and Neelam said, can you come and speak at my event? And I said, as long as we can go live on Facebook. So we get around about 2,000 or 3,000 views per week on this. So I think we can give also our Facebook world a big, nice big round of applause, and just so that they know what they're missing. Great, thank you guys. So for those of you watching at the moment on Facebook, and you were wondering what on earth was going on, and where on earth is David, he shouldn't have switched his camera on, because all you can see is this woman dancing in front of a screen. And now you know what is happening as far as this evening's concerned. So I've got a couple of questions for you. How many of you here have ever set a goal and you achieved it? Great. And how many of you here have ever set a goal and you didn't achieve it? Oh, same people. Now, here's a third question for you. How many of you here ever set a goal and you achieved it in a way that you would never have imagined? Magic happens, yes, exactly. Where you set a goal, maybe you've got an idea how it might happen, and then it happens in a completely different way. Have you ever had something happen where you set a goal and it kind of like drops out of the sky and you go, how on earth did that happen? How many people have actually had that kind of like magical moment? Okay, so it's about half of you. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about this evening, just over like 15 minutes or so, because I know you want to network, I know you want to drink some champagne and things. What I'm going to teach you this evening is how to have that kind of magical experience with every single goal you set. What's the secret behind those goals that you set that happen in completely unique, completely unfathomable ways? Now, if you were to just discover that one thing this evening, for how many people would there be value in that? Would there be value in that? Come on, let me know. Right, good. Okay. So I want to introduce you to what I would call your quantum success team. Yeah. These are the team that you have inside of you that enable you to achieve all of the goals that you ever set. And you've got your conscious mind, which is the mind that you think with. Yeah. When you look in the mirror and you go, "That's me," that's your conscious mind. And then you've got your unconscious mind, which is the mind that you feel with, and the intuitions and all those kind of things. And they play a different role in goal achievement. Because goal setting, the conscious mind, is the mind that you use as the goal setter. And your unconscious mind is the goal getter. So here's the thing to realize with these magical goal achievement moments, is the only thing that you need to think about is what it is you want. You do not need to know at that particular point in time how you're going to achieve it. Yeah? So all you need to think about is, what do I want? Where do I want to be? Big mistake that I find a lot of people make is when they start thinking about what they want, they start thinking about how they're going to do it. And then they go, I can't imagine how that's going to happen. So they never even bother saying, have you done that? You have, I can tell you've done that. Yeah? All of us have. We're going, this is what I want, but how on earth can I do that? How on earth is that ever going to happen? So we don't bother setting it. That's the absolute guaranteed way of not making it happen. Yeah. So when you're setting the goal, all you need to do is think about, what is it that I want? It's your unconscious mind's job to work out the how. Yeah. So you don't need to know the how. And equally, you've all had that experience where you've achieved a goal in a completely non-logical, non-rational, non-sensible way. And from looking at you, you would like to achieve more goals in that way, in non-logical, non-rational, non-sensible ways, where you apparently appear to achieve your goals in almost magical ways. Now, here's the reason why that happens. Because your conscious mind and your unconscious mind think differently. Your conscious mind thinks linearly, thinks in straight lines, thinks in sequences, step, 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 step. You've all done that with your goals. You've gone, this is where I want to be. What are the individual steps that I need to take? Have you done that? Yeah. And then part of the way along, it doesn't work out that way, does it? And it blows the entire thing out. Whereas your unconscious mind is non-linear. Your unconscious mind actually works by the laws or the rules of quantum physics, not Newtonian physics. So let me explain what I mean by that. How many people here, I'm showing my age now, how many people here have heard of a quantum leap? And I don't mean the TV program. I'm talking about a quantum leap from a quantum physics point of view. Let me explain what a quantum leap is from a quantum physics point of view. If we were to look at an atom, we've got our nucleus here, and we have electrons going around the outside. And we still can't explain how this happens or why this happens. But every now and again, an electron will go into what's called a higher spin state. It gets further away from the nucleus. A bit like, if it would have happened to the Earth, it would be like the Earth suddenly moved further away from the sun. Yeah? Now, if we were to use our conscious mind and think about how that happens, we would think it does that. Wouldn't we? Gradually spiraling out. That would be the logical, rational, and sensible way that happened. Yeah. That isn't the way it happens, though. We can't explain how or why this happens, but what actually happens is the electron disappears there, and it reappears there instantaneously. I.e., it goes from here to here instantaneously with no time and no steps. Now, what that means from you as far as your goal achievement is concerned, it means you would achieve your goals instantaneously without taking any steps. How many people here would like to achieve their goals instantaneously without taking steps? Yeah. Strangely, everybody's hands go up. So let me give you an example of how that works in reality. And it's interesting because I had this experience in a building just up the road here on Embankment, number 1 Embankment Place, which is the headquarters of PricewaterhouseCoopers. And in January, between Christmas and January, I set a goal. This is the late 90s. I set a goal of making £100,000 in 10 months. Not a bad goal. Yeah. Now, I already know what some of you are doing. Let's say you had that goal, to make £100,000 in 10 months. That's your goal. I already know what some of you are doing. Even though I'm no Darren Brown, you're going £100,000 in 10 months. That's £10,000 a month. I work 4 weeks a month. That's £2,500 a week. I work 5 days in a week. That's £500 a day. Am I right? Yeah. And you go, can I make £500 a day? And you go, yes, I believe I can make £500 a day. Game on. And then you go out, and at the end of day 1, you haven't made £500. Just 1 day into your goal, you are a failure. And you get out the big stick, and you start beating yourself over the head. I've only been doing this for a day, and I've failed already. But I'm one of those determined people. What I'm going to do is, I just need to make £1,000 tomorrow, and then we're back on track. Am I right? And at the end of day 2, you haven't made £1,000. Now, you're twice as big a failure than you were on day 1. But you're determined. You go, right, £1,500 tomorrow. I can do it. I'm determined. At the end of day 3, you haven't made £1,500. You're now 3 times as big a failure than you were before you started. And that goes on day in, day out, as far as that's concerned, until you go, there is no way I could make that much money in a day. And you throw the entire goal out. Now, in the world that your unconscious mind lives in, it's possible for £100,000 to drop into your bank account 1 second after you set the goal. It might not be probable, but it is possible. It's also possible for £100,000 to drop into your bank account in the last second of the 10 months. It might not be probable, and it is possible. That's what happened to me. I set a goal, it wasn't 10 months, I set a goal of £100,000 in 12 months. Between Christmas and New Year, I talked to the people in my company, I said, that's our goal for one specific kind of training, corporate training that we wanted to do. They all said we can do it. And we took action. Yeah, that's an important thing, take action. How many people here have heard of The Secret? Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, The Secret's never worked really. Because, The Secret just says meditate on your goal, and it will arrive. But, when I read the Daily Mail in the morning, because I want to know what's really happening in the world, I read the Daily Mail, I've never read a headline that said, man knocked unconscious by bag of gold whilst meditating. Which suggests to me that we might need to go out and actually do something. So we were taking action, we were doing stuff. 2 weeks into January, I got a phone call from somebody at PricewaterhouseCoopers. David, we would like you to come in and talk to us about doing your presenting magically training for our senior partners and partners. Will you come on to a meeting? Does anyone ever want to answer for that? Yes. So I go along to this meeting, but I check on our database to find if this guy's on our database. He wasn't on it. It's before I brought out the book Presenting Magically, and really it's the early days of the internet. So I'm going, how did this guy find out about me? So I asked him that question. And he said, I was thinking the same thing on the way in, and I can't remember. I think somebody told me about you at a party, but obviously it was a good one because I can't remember. I had 1 hour meeting with that guy, and I walked out with a contract for £100,000 for 3 Presenting Magicallys delivered over the next 12 months. In one meeting. Yeah. I went back to the office, and I said to the guys in the office, that goal we set a couple of weeks ago, £100,000 in the next year? They went, yeah. I said, we're going to have to reset it. And they went, no, David, we've only been doing it for 2 weeks. We can still achieve it. You've got some limiting beliefs you need to get rid of. And I said, no, you don't understand. We've already achieved it. Yeah. Now, what I would have done before is I would have planned it. Yeah, I've got a goal, plan it. And I would have planned how many customers do I need to bring in £100,000? Let's say 10. 10 customers at £10,000. How many sales meetings do I need to go to bring in a customer? Let's say I need to go to 3 meetings, and I've got to go to 30 meetings. How many calls do I need to make to decision makers with a budget to get a meeting? Let's say it's 5. Yeah. So I've now got to call 150 decision makers to get 30 meetings, to get 10 sales, to get 10 grand times 10, £100,000. You with me? I wouldn't have gone to my team. Okay, guys, I've got a plan. In a couple of days, somebody we've never heard of is going to phone the office. I'm going to go to 1 meeting and come back with £100,000. If I'd said that to my team, I don't think they would have gone, Dave, like your plan, mate. Rock on, brother. But they'd go, oh, God, he stopped taking the drugs he should be taking. He started taking the drugs he shouldn't be taking. That's what happened, though. And here's the thing. I'm going to say something which a lot of people might think is quite controversial at this point in time. The absolute worst thing that you can have to achieve a goal is a plan. Yeah? That's the worst. Yeah, so some people go like, yay! Other people go like, what? What? So I have people go to me, but David, what about business plans? Are you saying don't have a business plan? I go, no, do have business plans, but realize what they're for. Business plans are for one thing and one thing only, getting somebody to lend you money. You already know you have no intention of following it. As soon as it's done its job and they've given you the money, put it in the bottom drawer till next time you need somebody to lend you some money. That's what a business plan's about. But all the goals that I've achieved in magical ways, I achieved in a way that I had no plan. And there's a reason for that. Again, coming back to quantum physics, I did mention about quantum success team. There is in quantum physics something called Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. At least I think that's what it's called. Not certain. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle says there is no certainty in the universe, only probabilities, which means this. There is no plan that's certain to work. One of the steps in your plan will fail. And if you think that plan is the only way you're going to achieve it, your plan now goes out the window and it's done for. Yeah? Let me ask you a question. If you achieve your goal, exactly what you asked for, on time, do you care how you achieved it? You don't, do you?
No.
So think about goals like this. I'm going to leave you with this thought. One of my students came to me with a goal, and she wanted to be a major airline. I mentioned the airline, a major airline. She wanted to be their first female 747 captain. There was already a female pilot, but not a female captain. And that was her goal. I said to her, go for it. She says, yeah, but David, I've got no clue I'm going to achieve it. Well, it doesn't matter. Go for it. No, you don't understand. The airline that I work for, they only let boys fly big planes and women can only fly small planes, and 747's a big plane, so they're not going to let me fly it. Go for it. Next time I met her, what do you think she was doing? She was this airline's first female 747 captain. And she got the route of flying from London Gatwick to Las Vegas. Pretty good route. Yeah. Now, how do you get from London Gatwick to Las Vegas? You might go like, well, do you like that, David? That's how you do it. You never do it like that. Sometimes you might go that way. You're looking out the window, you're going the wrong way. I want to go to Las Vegas, not Monte Carlo. Wrong casinos, yeah? But you might take off that way. You might do this, you might go into a holding pattern here. I was going to Las Vegas to speak at a conference. I looked out the window and I'm going, that's not Las Vegas, that's LA. You were going too fast. Slow down. But because of traffic, because of weather, etc., we came in this way. Now, let me ask you a question. If you had a goal of going to Las Vegas on a particular day, the airline got you to Las Vegas, the correct place, safely, on time, would you care what route the pilot took?
No.
You wouldn't, would you? Yeah? That's how you've got to think about your goals. So when you think about your goals, consciously, you think, where do I want to be and when? When you get on the plane, you're not thinking about what route the pilot's taking. You're too busy watching movies, eating food, and drinking gin and tonics. That's what you're doing. Enjoying the journey, enjoying the flight. That's the way to enjoy it. You do need to get to the airport and you do need to book the ticket. That's taking the action. Yeah? So when you set a goal, you decide what your destination is. You don't need to know the route. You take action to achieve your goal. Massive action. Every single possible thing you could possibly do to achieve your goal, you do it. Everything. Because there's no way for you to know which one of those actions is going to work until it has. Now, here's the thing. We were taking action. We were advertising. We were selling. We were delivering training programs. It just happens that the way we achieved that goal of £100,000 was in a way that appeared to have nothing to do with any of those actions. I do believe, though, if we just set the goal and sat there with our feet up on the desk waiting for it to happen, it wouldn't have happened. So here's the thing. And this, by the way, this event you're at right now is an example of that. Neelam decided she wanted this event 3 weeks ago. Nothing was happening a week ago. She called me and said, would I speak at the event? Now that is certainty. That is taking action. I said, yes, as long as we can go live on Facebook. She said, yes, we'll do that. There was nobody booked. And now, look at how many people here and she's achieved a goal. That is an example of quantum success. That is an example of doing what I'm talking about. So all you've got to do is think big, forget the how, because it really doesn't matter, and take massive action. Then you can create whatever your goals are, as if by magic. Just go for it. Thank you. Neil.
Can we give David a big Yacht London round of applause? Wasn't he just